Hey, welcome to EPS ParaTalk. I'm Robert, and this is
Janie.
Janie. How you doing today, Janie?
I'm still kicking, brother. Just not quite as high as I used to.
We'll work on that. Don't worry. We're going to give everybody a little bit of time to jump on, see what happens here. Got some good topics today. Definitely some things we want to go back over. We are going to be going back to talk about the Paradelia. Go over comments so we can catch everybody when they come on. Welcome to the show. Bridget, thanks for jumping on.
Hi, Bridget.
Gina.
Gina,
I am so sorry. I got a little bit caught up working on teaching on some cleansing this week.
don't listen to him, Gina. He just forgot all about you, honey.
You going to start without meaning this already?
Yep. Because Gina's on here to have my back.
Amber.
Hi, Amber. Don't you start. Gina?
Is Gina here with you right now?
Gina, honey, I'll shoot you my address.
Debbie, thanks for being on.
Hi, Debbie.
We're just waiting just a moment, let everybody else catch up. We're going to recap, talk a little bit more about Paradelia. That's a topic that I think we really haven't, I don't think people really discuss it enough because obviously what we see so much in the field.
Yeah, I don't think people talk about it enough either because they'll call us out to come and get rid of a ghost and we get there and realize it's a lampshade casting a shadow when they turn their lights off at night. So, yeah.
That really does happen. It really does.
I've got a shadow right now casting in my bathroom. I don't even want to tell you what it looks like, but I'll show you when we get done with this live.
Right
yeah.
I know what it was. I was going
on
to
the sink.
Pictures. Yep.
Looks like a tallywhacker, but it's not. It's a shadow.
I was so tempted to take a picture of it because everybody else does that. And then if you're seeing...
Hi, baby. Sean's on.
I always see the wrong thing. So...
No, I saw a tallywhacker.
It looks like... No, but that's still not the right thing. It's actually just the sink.
Right. It's the little plug-in that I have there with the nightlight on it, casting that shadow onto the sink. Because it's not really a tallywhacker on our sink.
What I just said. It's not really one.
Y'all better not be putting that in the sink.
Go. All right.
You
Next
boys.
topic. We're moving right along.
I got him, Gina.
We're just going to go ahead and move her right on off.
I got him, Gina.
You little shyster.
You love me and you know it. Look at Gina rolling on the floor laughing my ass off.
Jeremy,
Hi,
thanks
Jeremy.
for being on, buddy. Appreciate it very much. If you guys haven't taken the time yet to go ahead and check out the YouTube on the Things Network, Jeremy, if you could post it up there, that'd be great. We appreciate it. Y'all killing me.
Share this live, guys. Please share, like, comment, ask questions, anything to keep him busy so I don't got to deal with him for the next hour.
That. Jeez.
I love it.
You'll find out just how mean she is.
Mm-hmm.
We are also going to be talking about cleansing today. I want to go over, I'm hearing so much or seeing so much wrong posts about cleansing. And again, there's multiple ways to do it correctly. I'm not saying that my way is the only way or anything like that. But there are some things we need to go ahead and try to drive into the dirt that is just absolute BS. One thing I see that's being posted, just to give you an idea, okay, white sage bundles. They say you're not allowed to buy them if you're going to do a cleansing. You show me the person that's going to supply us with enough of the white sage bundles to do as many houses as we do in a year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, good luck with that. They got to be happy. They have to be happy when they made it. How do I know what they're putting in it if they're too happy?
What the hell they was thinking when they made them? I don't think it's the person that made them that makes the sage effective. I think it's the plant itself.
But given these experts that are in the field,
yeah. You should say experts in quotation marks.
I'll let you do that. You're good at those little...
These dummies in the field that think they know everything.
Yeah, moving right along. Beep. I missed that one. Damn, I was about 4 or 5 seconds late on that one.
I bet you if you just let me go, we'd get way more likes.
We had company. We had company, so you don't know what where the filter went. I asked you to put the filter on this morning.
I did.
That sounds like the filter?
I'm still saying gravy. That's a filter.
Okay. I'm going to stop right there.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to play a short video. It's the same one that I played last week. It's just a recap on Paradelia, but how it affects the mind. And I just want to be able to take a moment for other people that jump on or weren't on last week. I want to just kind of go over this real quick.
Thank you, Jeremy.
All right, so they should, a simple artist. An artist takes some paint peeling and all of a sudden they create an image out of it. You know, it's just what they're seeing. Actually, out on the moon or any other surfaces in space, I highly doubt there's really a face that's actually looking back down on us. Most of you, I know you don't. You see,
I
just a
did.
dried
Well, I
up
did
plant.
after you guys pointed it out. I saw
Most
it,
people
but
see a
before that, I
skull.
just saw a dried up flower.
And then a lot of
That
people
one
will
I
see the
saw.
face, but then if you actually look next to it, you can have an eye, you could have a horn right there, you could have a chin coming down through here.
Yeah.
You could actually see two faces.
Yeah.
But even when we did it last week with that last clip, there was three of us. Freddie was with us, and all three of us
Saw something different.
We saw a face, at least one face, and then we saw a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Each of us had a different
Yep.
take on it.
Yeah.
And that's pareidolia. That's your mind going ahead and associating known shapes and forms again to actual. And so sometimes, like I said, the clouds are a perfect example. We know there's not really horses up there. I know there's not really horses up there. God knows. Yeah, never mind. Don't go there. I know where you're headed. I saw that deep thought.
Oh my God.
It's a little bit early on, but I do want to show a clip. And I just want to move over. Besides the pareidolia, we're always talking about investigative techniques, or we try to put quite a bit of them out there. And a lot of people don't like that. You know, they're like kind of down on the idea of youth.
Yeah.
But I think there's plenty of youth out there that, hell, honestly, most of the seasoned people in the field can really learn from. I've got a video. It's shortened down quite a bit, but it's still going to be kind of long. It's still over 6 minutes, and we'll talk a little bit through it. But it's, if you take the time, whether you're seasoned in the field or you're not, and you just think, here are some kids that are put in a room. And this was taken by Freddie before he joined the team. He was at a location that we're very familiar with, and he had his two children there, and there was two other children there. And he basically is babysitting in the room while everybody else is ghost hunting.
And see, that's the thing. I'm all on board for kids to get into this because I think it takes a lot of fear away from their childhood because they know it is there, but it's not going to hurt them. But I'm not on board with people bringing their children on investigations that don't behave. If they're little shits at home, they're going to be little shits on an investigation. And no investigator wants to babysit your little monsters. If they are structured and they're willing to try it, great. But this little boy right here, and Freddie, don't get the big head. He ain't get this from you. I promise you, he ain't get this from you. This little boy takes it to the next level. I've not seen many adults investigate the way this child does. And I'm a little biased because he's kind of like my buddy. But seriously, this little man takes it beyond.
Yeah, and it's not just a matter of his demeanor or the demeanor of all of them. I mean, you have 4 children in here, and just you can bet there will be grown adults that would be flying out of this room at this point when you see this. This is actually a very real video. It's really happening. If I play it till the end, watch at the end, there's actually a flashlight, and you're going to actually see on the flashlight, you'll see the physical structure of the flashlight, so you can hear when it, I don't know what you want to call it, little grooves or whatever down the flashlight.
Yeah.
You'll actually hear the flashlight and see the flashlight roll. The problem is you can't see the very end of the flashlight, so you can't really make a judgment from that. Make the judgment by what the little kid is saying at the end. Pay attention to what he says, because he's going to refer to that and ask them if they're actually doing that. That flashlight is actually being moved by a spirit as well.
And keep in mind, nobody was expecting these children to
Not
pick
at
up
all.
anything. This was just basically, like he said, a babysitting room so that the other team could go off and do their investigating without the children interfering. And in reality, they should have let the children be the ones investigate, because they got way more than the team did.
Having seen this, I did try to recreate this multiple times with kids, because I'm like, if the kids are going to get the attention, we certainly want to have the attention too. We want to see if we can recreate it. We were not able to. The table that it's on, because first thing somebody's going to say is, okay, it's a ping pong ball that's going to be moving in particular. The idea is when you're looking at a ping pong or you're looking at anything to move, we want to see, does it only go in one direction? Does it ever stop motion and then pick up motion again? Kind of hard to do. If you pull a string and I pull it over here, unless you have another string going the other way, it's kind of hard to just make it go back and do circles and stuff.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But we're always trying to debunk. Again, we're still looking at it to try to debunk. The next best guess is, okay, maybe the ball has a magnet in it and somebody's under the table. And if you have any clue about myself, that table is crazy thick.
It is. It
Magnet's
was at
not
the
falling through.
Masonic temple, and the furniture in that temple is like really old, heavy, real wood stuff. So no, there was no magnet.
I get people not wanting to believe it, but this is 100% real.
You can turn on anybody who wants to communicate.
Anybody
You can
wants
play
to
with the
communicate.
ball.
You can play with the ball. You can play with the lights. You can play
Ghostmeter
with
Pro.
Ghostmeter Pro,
Or
or you can press a button on my game.
Now, the little girl to the right of this boy is all she's doing is playing her game. Now, he's noticing the ball moving already. If you don't see it, I got it.
But notice he's not freaking
We
out.
can talk to you
Talk to you
with
with this machinery called the Ghostmeter Pro.
We can
We
see how
can
you
see how you're moving the ball with the
ball.
ball.
And you can turn
And you can turn on the flashlights if you want.
Again, this is
Maddie, Dylan, Tyler, and Freddie. Freddie is turning on right now.
You can actually
You can actually speak into that and we can hear you.
with third
Third person questions.
So if you want to
speak into that, you can.
I'm going to turn it down just so you don't have to listen to all that. Now, you can see his demeanor. Obviously, he's seeing it. This is a static detector. That's just a ping pong ball that just went across the table. That's Freddie's finger above.
Freddie's operating the
You can watch this little girl. She's definitely leaning back like, what in the world?
I'm telling you, these little kids are more professional than most investigators I've been out with.
There you go. You can pick it up if you want to.
Exactly. And they were respectful. They even said thank you.
Yep. That's Freddie. He was hoarse at the time. He was getting over being sick.
Keep coming right there. There.
There are literally no investigators that would have ran out of that room as soon as that ball started moving by itself.
Absolutely.
I agree, Jeremy.
Again, this is 100% real. There's no joking to this. The actual video lasts for like 24, 25 minutes. I have the actual video of it. They're saying it too. In the spirit box, you just heard the woman say stop and the ball stops. Freddie changes his position. Now, some of you would have seen the shadow in the back, something just went across here. There could be other people in the building, so we're not even talking if that's anything about it.
And I do have to say that this particular little boy, this is Freddie's youngest son, he does have some abilities. He's very, very, very sensitive to things.
Is it like walking your side? We're fine with that. Nothing will hurt you, I promise.
again, he was.
All right, so look at the ridges on the flashlight and you'll hear it. And then listen to the boy.
Yeah, but it can't move a ball. Oh, hi, this is Maddie, Dylan, Elizabeth.
I love that they introduce themselves every time a light comes
We
on.
would like to talk to you. Is this Alice? Blink once for yes, twice for no.
Yes.
Alice like this.
With the Ghost Meter Pro, that's actually a one blink. It's considered a one blink, the way it works.
Yes.
Like that.
Amazing. You're doing really well. You want to roll it 20? Blink once for yes, twice for no.
This table's flat.
Oh, are you playing with the
Flashlight?
once for yes, twice for no? Yes. Wow.
I'm telling you, the professionalism from this little boy just blows me away.
Just to let us know that you're
But I want you to look at this. This little girl is determined to win whatever game she is playing. She is
And she's not
outright
even
killing it.
interested in the ghost thing. She's just playing her game.
You can roll the ball to me if you want. Roll to anybody, or you can just roll it in the circle around you. You want to play ball by yourself? Somebody.
Freddie's trying to blow it,
Question though. Why
which wouldn't make it go in a circle.
She wants to mess with the ball.
I know. I think something.
She's taking energy from that to this.
Okay. So Alice still here. Can't do it twice. I saw somebody like tell me what I'm doing it. Turn on twice again.
Just love that. Just love that.
If that doesn't blow your mind, in all
Absolutely.
sincerity, I
Absolutely.
mean, like you said, the professionalism at that age.
Yep. And I've investigated with this little boy, so I'm not just going by what I see on video. I have been with him on investigation, and I'm telling you, you will not find another child that was as well-mannered or well-behaved as that little boy. He can get it from his daddy, but you will not find another child that was that well-behaved and so focused on it that he was just so professional about it. He was so respectful. Every time that the spirit reacted when he asked, he thanked them.
Yep.
You know, and if you don't want to come and play, that's fine. You can play with the ball by yourself. Didn't get overexcited. Didn't freak out and run out of the room to try to tell everybody else immediately, oh my God, the ball moved. He was so professional. It just blew me away. I love that kid.
Again, that clip is honestly from, there's over 24 minutes of that on that video. So I tried to condense it. And I really didn't want to leave out a lot. I wanted the beginning to really be able to show more of, before the activity really starts, you listen to them talk.
Right.
You kind of get an idea what's going on there. It just makes it more realistic rather than having a real short clip that you don't see the before, after, or anything else. Incredible, though.
And the video also shows something else that we've never thought of before. It shows how easily it is to overlook something that's going on right next to you. This little girl was so into her iPad and playing her game, she didn't even look up.
Oh, she asked.
She did not even look up.
When he's talking about the things that they can do, she goes, "Oh, you can hit a key on my game."
Yeah, but she didn't even look up.
No.
So if somebody would have asked her, what did the ball do? She couldn't have said, well, it did this, this, or this. All she could say if they asked her was, well, they told me or they showed me a video, it did this. She did not even look up. That happens so many times with people in their everyday life.
Yes.
Things are going on around them every day, all day long, but they're so focused on what they're doing or their daily routine or work or whatever, that they don't even pay attention to it until it comes into their own home. And now it's like, okay, I got a problem. We better call somebody.
Absolutely. So the approach, I mean, if somebody's seasoned in the field, I'm not even talking about new into the field. If you're new, it's that much more of a reason why you should pay attention. If you look, okay, they were definitely respectful, no question.
Absolutely.
They definitely took the time to go ahead. They were in a controlled where they weren't all moving. You didn't have 6 people moving around. You could absolutely be able to witness the activity and sit there and watch it, and yet you're not changing the environment by having a bunch of people move around. That's fantastic.
And they asked questions.
Yes.
They didn't just say, do it again or do it again. He asked questions. Do you want to come play with us or do you want to play by yourself? It was amazing. I agree, Jeremy.
Anybody that watches this, and I would love your feedback, honestly, would you have thought to tell them to pick up the ball? You can pick it up if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell would have thought about that, honestly? Most adults investigating would not have even thought. They would have just been so wowed by it moving a little bit. That would have been pretty much it. But to actually even think, again, they're thinking, and multiple times they said the same thing, even feeding off of each other. One time it was
Yep.
one on one end, one time was the other one. Said, hey, you can pick it up if you want.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And he gave them options. He said, if you don't want to play with the ball, you can always answer my questions with the Ghost Meter Pro.
Yep.
I mean, he was
You can roll the ball to
Just
one
so
of us,
professional.
or you can just roll around a circle where you're at, around you. I mean, again, there's things to be learned, and we watch so many shows. We don't really watch too many, but I've seen bits and clips of things, but it's because they're too irritating, quite honestly.
yeah, we usually can't get through more than the first 10 minutes. We're like, who the hell are they trying to kid here?
But when you see this, just raw,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
they got it. They got it. That's
Yep,
the next
those little
generation.
kids
That's
got it.
really the ones.
Yep.
That's the ones we want, like you say.
Yep.
If you get them started where they're not freaking out and they are more
Right.
open.
But believe me when I tell you, they have to be well-behaved children first.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, we
questioning
have
that.
had someone on our team before who used to like to bring their children.
Right.
These were wild childs. I wouldn't have babysat those children if she paid me to, and she would bring them on investigation, serious investigation. You can't do that. Let's not be crazy about it. If your children are interested, then you teach them that they need to be calm. They need to behave themselves. You should be teaching your children they need to behave in public anyway.
I do believe that's a perfect example of how they should be, and I mean,
Absolutely.
there's no doubt. I mean, they
Those kids set the example for adults. Even.
that's the point.
Yep.
You get adults that will not settle down, will not calm down long enough to actually be able
Yep.
to listen to it. Yet, if you go through that, it's just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's a much longer video than what you just saw.
Oh my
It's the
goodness,
same
yes, that
way.
was just a small clip. Yeah.
It's just extremely impressive. And again, we overlook too often some of the really good examples. And again, you can watch a show and go, yeah, no, I don't want to do it like that.
Right.
That's not too cool.
Right.
You know, people
Right.
are freaking out about things. So I hope we see more of that. I hope we
Yeah.
see more of the kids out there, you know, that have been taught and have an idea of what to do.
That are interested and they don't need to have a passion for it or make it their lifelong goal to capture spirit on audio or video. But the fact that they're not afraid and they're interested takes the boogeyman out of their bedroom in the middle of the night. Trust me when I tell you that.
Right.
It's like they're not so afraid of dark places anymore. You know what I mean? What parent doesn't want to take fear away from their kid?
And absolutely. Absolutely. You're giving them enough knowledge that they can work on.
Yep.
And then if they ever talk to their friends, you know,
Then they
get to
can
spread
pass that
word
on.
of
Yep.
mouth. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But in our field right now, it's just like we skip over the younger generation. And I think that's a big mistake because we already see that the older generation, unfortunately, loses their mind too easy. I'm not saying we don't get excited. How I get excited. Christ, watch any of our work and everything. I will get excited in a heartbeat. At the same time, calm down long enough to go ahead and see if it's realistically just,
Mm-hmm.
you know, something
Right.
freak accident or if it really actually happened.
Right.
But yeah,
It's hard to put the brakes on when you're in the midst of it, but that's what makes a good investigator. You have to remember, let's put the brakes on, stop this right now. Let's try to debunk this before we go any further. Let's make sure nobody was out there or nobody was over there talking. But that's hard to do when you're in the midst of it and you're hearing and seeing these things. It really
Absolutely.
is. But that's the difference between a good investigator and
Well, you're
not
talking
so
about
good
debunking.
investigator.
And quick question for you guys. When does debunking start and when does investigating start? And if you would, throw it up in comments. If you're not too, to go ahead and put it up there.
dumbass. I'm so done with you.
I can't get over your chicken boots, man. You're just killing me.
I love my chicken boots.
So
The next live, I'll wear my chicken boots, guys.
in comments, if you would, just give, seriously, when does it start? When do you actually start debunking? When do you actually start investigating is the question. Because in short, what happens too often in reality, we watch, you know, people are going to go to a location, something happens, and now they want to take the time to try to debunk what happened. What do you do before that?
Right,
So
right.
since everybody's going to be wonk, wonk, chicken, calling you out, chickens. Hey, Debbie, I didn't give you a holler. Thank you so much for being on. When does debunking start and when does investigating start? I consider debunking as part of it. Correct. But when does it start? I'm talking away right from, hey, you just got a case. Janie's calling. She's got a case for it. You know, she's talking to you about an issue she's having. You go out to site, you plan it, you go out to site. At what point do you actually start investigating? What point?
Well, I
is it?
know for us,
Oh,
when
Amber
it
was going to
is.
be called a chicken because she was like, nope, here you go.
Hi,
Spooky sisters
Amber.
were like, Many adults would have reacted repeating, "Oh my God, what was it?" Exactly? As far as with
These
the balls
kids
and
kept
these
their
kids.
cool, even though they were extremely excited about what was going on.
Beautiful, Amber. Absolutely. Jeremy has the same thing. As far as people really need to start getting back and pulling back a little bit. The debunking and the investigating, it is hand in hand, and it is starting your first contact about information about a location, even before you end up reaching out to the client if somebody else has reached out to you. You start at that point, you're starting to pay attention really what's going on, because you can have somebody go ahead and it could be them themselves, as far as whether or not they're doing it to purposely manipulate the situation for the attention. That happens, as we know.
Yep.
Could be something real going on, could be mental illness, of some degree.
Could be drug use.
When you first start, how do you pronounce that name?
I can't see it, Rob.
Oh, geez.
Well, I can't. I ain't got my specs on.
Sari, Sarai. I am so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. In all
Is it
sincerity.
Sari or Sarai?
You'll probably be right.
I'm just going to call you Sugar.
Love it. I would say the second you step into the home, you're investigating, because that's when you're looking all over the home, talking to the client and getting their stories. Shay, come on.
Jeremy, I agree with
Sorry.
that.
All right.
But for us, it starts the minute he makes contact with the person on the phone. He's already thinking in his head, how could these things be debunked or explained away?
We do mostly residential locations. If you go to the paid locations and you've already heard stories about it, that's already planting seeds in your head of what, so all of a sudden that's
I
already
agree,
affecting
Amber.
you.
Sarai, yeah.
All right. Thank you. And again, I'm so sorry about
Sarai.
that. So whoever the point of contact is, whoever is actually dealing with the case, like most of my team does not deal with the client at all until we get on site. Because
I usually don't even ever know you got a case until you say, oh, by the way, if y'all aren't busy on this day, I need you.
Well, what you usually do is, I don't know if you got a case yet, brother, but you got a case that's involving this, and this woman's dealing with this, and this is that, and she starts giving all these details.
I just did this the other day, so I know it's coming.
That's why it does come that way. There's all kinds of reasons people are calling as far as they're going to contact you, and you want to know realistically what's there. When
Absolutely,
you go to
Jeremy.
a well-known paid location, that's one thing. When you're going to like a residential, some people are very manipulative. Again, they do want the attention. They'll blow up something that may or may not have an explanation to it. They're not going to take the time to learn it. And if you get in a conversation, Janie gives me a call, and I just sit there listening, going, If it's somebody that's manipulated their story, there you go. Shay's giving you love. She can't even see it. Janie, you look beautiful this morning. Love your hair. Rob, you finally look like you took a shower.
I love Shay. Shay, I love you, sweetheart. I so owe you a Southern meal.
Wow, now. Shay,
Love it.
Used to love you.
I love it. I love it.
You wait till you have a problem at your house next time. I'm
Shay,
gonna
I handle it for you, baby.
send you a problem. There
Don't
you
you worry
go.
about it, honey.
Coming to you.
We got you.
If you let potential clients or anybody actually start the conversation and they just continue to go with it, they've already got in their mind what they're going to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the lead on a team or you're the point of contact for a team, you always want to break that up because you want to have them off balance. You're glowing today.
Thank you, Gina. It's because I got to hit on Rob a little bit physically before we started the live. Always makes me feel better.
There you go. You heard it, all right? So don't be acting like
But
she's all innocent.
Gina and Sheila know you deserve it. You deserve it. You actually deserve way more than I give you. I'm just taking it easy on you because you're getting old too.
Sean, if you're watching, can you come to take your wife, please?
Sean knows better.
That's so wrong.
I love
Any
it.
other time he can be my bouncer, but now.
He's only your bouncer for Ghost. He's got to live with me.
Anyway, moving right along. So debunking is the same way. We had a client, oh my gosh, our 2 or 3 year old is using all kinds of crazy words, talking about demon, omen, all these different things. We get to the house, to the location. So she's already told me this. So in your head, you need to be paying attention to what's been said. What are the statements that the client is making? It's no different than if you go to one of these paid locations. What is the statements that the clients or the location is making? And then that's what you're going to the attempt is to debunk. The attempt is not to prove there's paranormal.
Right.
What you should be going in my opinion, is going in trying to find the reasonable explanation
Yeah.
for what's causing
Before
it.
you can capture any kind of credible proof, you have to prove that you cannot get this any other way, that you can debunk any other way it could have been done in order for the proof that you get or the evidence that you get to be credible.
Janie's a medium. She's fantastic. Got it. One time y'all heard it. Okay.
Usually it's just she's lucky.
Check that one off. I've said it one time. All
I
right?
need a mentor, though. I'm not as good as I should be. Anybody know a mentor
Anyway,
that can help teach me?
you're not helping me with this.
I'm not trying.
I know. I noticed that.
I love it. Yeah,
I
but
love
you know
too.
I had to say
I know
that.
you too.
You know I had to say that.
Yes, I do. I just can't wait.
You wouldn't hurt me for anything.
You don't have your ponytail.
No, because you pull my ponytail when I wear it, so I took it. That's why I got it right there. As soon as this live is over, this going right back in the turd on top of my head. And my foot's under there, you little
Do you
shit.
see that look? I love that look. That look cracks me up. So going back to the woman was talking about their very young toddler saying all kinds of crazy words and stuff. When we get to the location, they had the best collection of horror flicks. And
Yeah.
Damien was on TV at the time,
And their little kid right there.
watching it.
It's like, well, no wonder he's repeating what he's seen on these movies.
So I'm not saying they did it on purpose, but sometimes you're too close to the action to really pay attention to what's going on. Not fly. I missed. Oh, there it is. Same way, Janie. Still trying to figure, accept and use my gifts. Sweetheart, you're in with so many people that are in the process of realizing they have abilities and trying to use abilities. And if you hang out with us, when we do these lives, we talk about abilities a lot. And so you're always welcome to give your opinion and
And
praise as well.
sweetie, please don't feel like it's going to be, there's an end game to it, because it's not. If you have these abilities, any type of these abilities, and you have them, there is no end game. You are going to constantly be trying to figure out how to use them, what works best for you, how to control it. There is no end game. I don't care who you are. I don't care how great you think you are.
Come on now.
I don't care how many titles you give yourself. The ability is the same as life. You will always be learning and evolving and trying different things. I honestly don't believe that if we live to be hundreds of years old, we would ever figure it all out. I really don't. Because I learned something new about it every single day. Things that I never even thought to try.
But that's not even just with ability. That's overall.
That's with anything.
When you get people that are, feel like they've learned it all, they know it all, then again.
Oh, I know some of them.
But you get people with abilities and without that really truly believe
Yeah.
they are the cream of the crop. And They know
Exactly.
everything.
Yeah.
Kimberly, thanks for being on with us. Appreciate that. Definitely enjoy that. How about somebody who always posting smiles? I love it. I love seeing people that smile. I think I understand where you're coming from. Amen. Lifelong learning. Tracy, thanks for being on. Absolutely.
It is,
You know that
Tracy.
as
You're
well.
absolutely right. It's with anything else. It really is.
I'll get back over to abilities in just a moment, so bear with me. I just want to explain this real quick, a little bit more about the debunking part of it. You really have to pay attention, and even when you're walking around, you really have to be observant. You have to be observant for drug paraphernalia.
Yep.
You have to look at the material that might be laying around as far as reading material.
And be
whatnot.
observant for the way they word things.
Yes.
Because certain things they'll say to you, which in their head sounds like it will be convincing. But in your head, you're like, no, wait a minute. Why would they say that?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Why would they bring that up for this? So you have to be listening along with watching and looking and just paying attention to your surroundings and the people in it.
It's not what's just happening in front of the camera, I assure you. There's things that happen. I've had a client I actually shot out, ran way on out to do 2 locations to cleanse,
Very
one
long
location,
way on out.
cleanse another location, only to return the same night. It was quite a bit of work to do. There's a lot that gets involved in it. But they were so freaked out, having issues, I want to make sure I could help them out. And again, we can't tell everything over the phone. Even if we have a location that has documented ungodly number of deaths that have happened, crazy accidents that have happened,
Animals getting sick and dying.
we're still looking. I'm still looking. Even if Janie is turning around telling me, Rob, this is what's going on at the house, I still need.
Yeah,
as an
everybody thinks
investigator-
he doesn't try to debunk me. You are so wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
So wrong.
Absolutely.
If he didn't try to debunk me, I wouldn't be part of this team because I would know he was one of those people that just fall for anything. And I don't want that because people with abilities get a bad enough name as it is.
So I'm looking for whatever's at the house. You can call it the house, you can call it the energies, whatever. I'm looking for that to actually give me some proof that it's there.
Right.
And it might do it by start scratching people in there. At one point, it's like if you use sage, anybody that's used sage, you light it, you let it get hot, you blow it out, and now it's going to smoke, and you have the red hot embers on the end, and that's what's going to go ahead and keep all the smoke going. And most of us realize or would expect that at no time, especially if you ever try to put it out when you're done, at no time does that just stop.
No, usually you have to take a minute to make sure all the embers are out.
And they keep smoking. And I'm talking about stop as in.
Yeah, and we're not talking about a bundle this size. We're talking about a bundle over there. It's over there, right?
I know, but I'm going to show.
Talking about a bundle that's about this big around and about this long. So
This
this
is
thing was
typical.
really burning.
So it's really burning fast. There's no reason that it should automatically just disappear. Jeremy, thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate it. But that can happen on a location, and it has happened on a location. So there's different, even though
See,
you don't
Jeremy.
expect, when you have something like that just, you start paying attention. We have a
Yeah.
lot of other things already
Oh
happen.
my goodness, yeah. But when that happens, it's like we've never had sage go out like that
No,
before
not
on an
completely
investigation
just drop.
ever. It just not only did the smoke instantly stop, but the embers instantly
all
went
gone.
away. I mean, I could have put my hand on it and it wouldn't have burned me. It was just gone.
I had, it was yourself and Laura. I had you pressing from below and moving up towards the attic. The attic
Yep.
is where the activity was at, and that's where we were dealing with this thing at.
Yep.
We wanted to keep him pressed inside the attic so we could go ahead and deal with it. And as they started up the beginning of the stairs, it just went completely off.
Completely out.
It's not something you would expect. Oh, I damn sure didn't expect it, but it's how
I
things
didn't
that-
expect it. I'd never seen that happen before,
Right.
ever.
We've never had it happen.
No,
in another
usually we have a
location.
hard time getting the stuff to go out when we're
Right.
done. It's like,
Right.
I got to make sure that all this is out. I don't want anything to catch on fire.
So there's experiences that are going to tell you when something else is going on, and then I'm taking what happens during, as with the notes that I collect. I use my phone, and if you have abilities, here's a step that you honestly should try. Shay, Shay, you ought to go ahead, make sure you text things that you're picking up.
Yep.
Even though she tells me we live in the same house, she'll tell me, I say, okay, text it to me.
That way it's time stamped and dated.
So you have it. So I can turn around to a client and go, well, this is what my medium picked up 2 weeks ago.
Before we even knew we had your investigation.
That's pretty impressive. And then I can look at which ones, okay, check that one off. Okay, check that one off. You got this one as well. You got that one as well. That's giving confirmation for those with abilities. If you want to get better, and who was it?
But it's also gaining the client's trust because you're
Two sides,
showing her
yes.
something that's time stamped and dated, and she can mark off every single thing that I picked up before we got there. Now she knows we're not a bunch of crap, that we can actually do what we tell her we can do. And then she'll figure out that if she's really what she says she is, then he can get rid of this problem for
Correct.
me. You know what I mean?
So building credibility, I know I'm bouncing between a few things, and that's one of the things I want to talk about with
Right.
dealing with clients. Building your credibility is very important. Finding out whether or not the clients are true, or are they really probably possibly experiencing something, that's very important. But as you do it after a while, you'll start 80-85% of the time, at least, I already know if they're actually dealing with something out of my first conversation. I know some of you going, no way, you can't know that. Yeah, you do it long enough, you do pick up on things
Yeah.
pretty well. There's certain, and again, it's because I don't let them guide the conversation. I'm sorry, Jane. I'm sorry, Gina. A quick question about this. I don't mean to interrupt you, but now you're breaking up their concentration, but I've got my questions in my head that I want to have answered.
Right. And that way, if they do have it scripted in their head, you just broke the script. So now they're a little bit lost. And I guarantee if they're not the real deal, they're going to slip up and say something that's going to make absolutely no sense, that should make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So when you get to the location, you're also asking, a lot of people want to talk to everybody at one time. It's a lot easier. Like if one of the clients come with me and then I start in small chatter and blah, 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 small talk.
Right.
And then I'm finding out what are they saying as opposed to what was reported originally.
Right.
You'll find out where the differences are.
Yep.
And that's what you want to have. You can have, and we're looking for everything that's been happening to them. And it's not just what's physically happening in the location. We want to know about their health. We want to know about their dreams or their sleeping patterns. That's huge.
Right.
Tells you a lot. Are they suddenly having fights, or are they fought for a long time?
Or are they
Right.
only feeling this when they're in the house, or do they feel it even when they're outside of the house?
Yes.
Sometimes that'll help
Correct.
you determine if it's mental illness or not.
Correct.
Somebody's hearing voices in their head everywhere they go, every day, all the time. Go to a doctor and let's make sure it's not mental illness first. But if you're only hearing these things or experiencing these things when you're in this home or at this location, then yeah, it's worth an investigation.
If you're a client, let me ask you this. You're a client, everybody's living, and we've had a number of cases where this was the case. When people are seriously terrified, and I mean seriously terrified, one, they're hanging on every thread trying to hope that somebody's going to help them. They don't believe that anybody can really help them, but they want to. If you're at that point, which again we've come across, we've had plenty of families that only live in one room of their house. They don't want to
Have
go
a big,
anywhere
beautiful
else.
home, but only stay in one room. And you know they're not lying about that when you go in, because they've got all their snacks and their drinks and their little mattress on the floor, and everybody's piling up in there to sleep. That kind of tells you a family's pretty desperate when they get to that point.
And they'll be, we'll say, hey, is there anywhere in the house that Janie isn't allowed to walk? Because what happens, we get to a location, Janie's going to go with a recorder, usually with Sean, and they're on their own. And she doesn't talk to any other team members as far as what she got.
Or the client.
Until she comes back to me.
Right.
That's from me. That's my knowledge.
Right.
I don't want to push the client harder. At the same time, I want to know what is Janie picking up on. Yeah. Janie could tell me, hey, Rob, I'm telling you right now, there's 4 places that you should put cameras, and that's where you're going to get your evidence. Do I ever put cameras at all 4? Ain't going to happen. Sorry.
Nope.
Get over it.
And it doesn't offend me. It really doesn't. My role with the team is to tell him what I see, hear, and feel on location. His role as the team leader and the lead investigator is to make sure that everything he does is done with integrity. And if that means questioning your own team members, then you have to do that.
Right.
You have to do that. Otherwise, you don't have integrity. And a team that doesn't have integrity isn't a real team. They're just out there playing tiddlywinks.
You want to keep looking from an outside perspective. And again, you're still trying to find reasons and whatnot. Now you get to the point where you're dealing with the client. You're trying to analyze the client and find out, because sincere clients, most of the time they're so busy trying to convince you that they're not crazy. And we have plenty of people that go, look, I don't believe in ghosts and everything, but there's a ghost in my house. I'm telling you, there is a ghost I'm telling you, he's over in my house right now. I'm telling you, I don't believe in any of this.
Yeah.
I mean, just as fast as they can talk, and they're on both sides, but they don't want to believe because they're scared.
Yeah.
Okay. Slow down. The poor guy is scared. The poor family is scared, whatever. So number one thing you want to do is you want to give them hope. And I truly believe, unlike some people that want to just crush houses down and stuff because they can't figure out how to deal with something.
Yeah.
I believe all locations can be cleaned.
Yeah.
I believe all situations. We're on the physical plane. I honestly believe that. And that's what I promote to the client.
Yeah.
Now, that gives the client a little perspective that, okay, that light at the end of the tunnel isn't the train coming to hit them. It's, relief. Relax. Gotcha. I understand what you're going through. If you've dealt with, when you're newer, you're not going to have the experience. Once you have the experience, you're going to say, okay, look, it's like talking to one of you guys up there that have, right now, I'm looking straight at you and I'm talking to you and you have abilities, you're empathic. I'm going to tell you, do you ever find that your little arguments turn real big arguments really quick?
For no reason.
For no real reason. I want popcorn for dessert. She wants ice cream. And for some reason that gets into a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
That's because you're empathic. That's because you're absorbing every little bit. You take in 3 times worse. And I don't mean it that way, but you take it that way because you're constantly absorbing it, being an empath. Try to avoid loud noises in a big way. Try to avoid crowds. It's kind of indications. Don't want to go to the hospital because you know how you're going to feel, not being ill, but actually go to visit.
Yeah, because you're going to pick up on everybody else's illnesses.
That's empathic. So there's certain things that we're going to know about you that we don't even have to have met you. So it's the same thing we can tell clients. There's certain things we know they're going to expect. When a client is dealing with a negative location, they call us on the phone. I'm going to tell them, look, relax. The activity might pick up in your house. It probably will pick up in the house because it wants you to cut your connection with me.
Right.
So there's 2 things. If the activity picks up, if the activity doesn't pick up, no harm, no foul. If the activity does pick up, I've given them what to expect. So they're going, okay, we knew to expect that. And then I also plant the seed is, why would it pick up if it didn't think we could do anything? If they didn't think we could affect them, or you, if you're going to a location, could affect that negative energy in a bad way for the negative energy, why would it waste time?
I love Sheila.
What now? What she? I thought you couldn't read these things. Oh my God, Rob.
Oh, I
okay,
can read
next time
Sheila's.
at 3 a.m., I'm texting you a million times. So
Get him, Sheila.
I told you if something goes on, you better start going ahead and texting.
Oh my God. Well, my biggest pet peeve with some teams are they'll always have that one person that's Mr. Tough Guy.
Oh,
Lock me in the room, put some chains on me. I want to see if it'll mess with me. And then when it's over, it's like, well, there wasn't anything there. I stayed in that room all night. Nobody did nothing. None of them did nothing to me. Did you ever think they just didn't want to play with your ass? They didn't want nothing to do with you. Doesn't mean they weren't there. It just means you ain't the one they want to talk to. I hate that. I've had so many people tell me, oh, well, I know there's nothing there because I stayed in that room all night long by myself, lights out, didn't hear a thing. You know what? I bet you got relatives you never hear from either because they don't like you either.
Jenny doesn't call it like it is.
Oh my God, I hate that. I hate that. Or they only go on investigations to get to be chained up to something or tied up to something. You could do that shit at home. Them spirit ain't worried about what you are or where you are or how you're tied up.
I need a Snickers.
They
Oh my
could
God.
care less. They really could care less. If they, to them, that's just saying you are not serious about this. You're like everybody else. You'll never get a communication from a spirit doing crap like that. That's the stupidest shit I've seen in my life. I don't like it. I don't like that. Go into an investigation being serious, not trying to prove you're Mr. Tough Guy. You can get chained up somewhere and nothing's going to touch you. I'd like to see somebody slap you upside your head one time. If you do that shit, you'd think twice. I hate that.
Yeah, John and Jeremy, fantastic, and again, rip for Jeremy. But you know, there are people out there that are willing to help, but clients need to know. That's one of the things they need to know is, hey, there is a positive end that can come to this as a conclusion.
Spooky sisters, read what they put.
Guess they are like living folks. We had a loud, disrespectful lady with us once. All activity ceased when she walked in. Absolutely. They already know that.
Exactly.
People go in and they say, look, and they'll sit down, they don't introduce ourselves. We don't introduce ourselves. And what we do is when we go in, we usually sit down, and what I do before I start an investigation is I'm going to say, look, I don't mean any disrespect. We are here just simply trying to talk to you, trying to communicate with you. We really want to know what's going on, XYZ, whatever. We're setting the expectations. We're not here to go ahead and harm you. Even when we go into a very negative location, I don't come in and go, where you at? I'm going to kick your ass. Stop.
Right.
That's not going to help anybody.
Right.
You know, because at first in real world situations with negative activity, depending on the type of negative activity it is, it's actually a cat and mouse game that starts out. Most times it's definitely a cat and mouse, and it's going to pick on somebody eventually, because what it's doing is, if I have a medium who can see and know things, maybe it's an energy that doesn't want me to know where it's at. So it's definitely going to target her.
And he knows that.
Yeah. It's part of we can say part of the game, part of the plan, however you want to have it, but you have to have plans for that.
Yeah. Rob and I already know before we even go to a location, whether I've picked up anything negative or not, we already know. Let's just go with whatever happens, but not say anything to the clients until we figure out what it is.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That way we're not giving them contradicting information in the middle of an investigation when we haven't even finished our investigation yet.
Chris, thanks so much for being on. Appreciate that. So number one with the client is you certainly want to go ahead and plant the seed, say, hey, look, anything can be dealt with, because they're
right. You
they're
want to let them
scared.
know right up front that we can help. Let's just figure out what this is first, and then we can help.
Most people that think that they have something in their house, even if a trash can falls over, oh my God, they're just thinking it's this big invisible man that's bent down trying to go ahead and walk through, or this big invisible ghost, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's huge. Oh my gosh, he's huge. It's always got to be a man. because he's huge.
Yeah, and he's always got to be 10 feet tall, and he's always got to be a black shadow.
So if you were dealing with that, anybody has dealt with something, and that's intimidating. Yes. If it was something.
And I'm not saying that everybody that says that it's a bunch of crap, because we have been in locations where, there was a tall shadow that was shaped like a man. But the difference is when the client, that's the only thing they're pushing home to you. It's like, no, nothing else has ever happened to me, but I'm telling you, this thing had to be at least 10 feet tall. It was half in the wall, half out the wall. Well, pay attention to stuff like that.
Our minds are our worst enemy. Our minds will do more to us than what most energies will actually do. I'm not saying all energies, because there are energies that will affect you, affect your health, and absolutely drive you crazy. I'm not questioning that.
Yeah.
But we don't help ourselves because, unfortunately, our imagination, for the average person, is really doing most of it. Pamela, thanks for being on. So,
Hi, Pam.
if you're actually dealing with, and you're extremely scared, I'm like, look, I get you being scared. You know, I know it feels like it's 8 foot tall. It's this big bro, whatever. I said, but honestly, would you be scared if it was actually something about 2.5 foot tall, a little short person about 2.5 foot tall, vertically challenged, that was actually doing this to you? Would you not be more pissed than scared?
Right.
And the clients, all of a sudden, now I'm planting a seed going, okay, let's bring down the size.
It might not be as bad as I
thought. A smaller,
let my imagination get carried away with me, even though something this big happened. I was so afraid I've made it this big.
right.
You know what I mean?
When you start bringing it down, they don't know what you're doing offhand, but now you've given them some comfort. Now you're turning around and you're minimizing. It still might be something 8 foot
right.
tall.
But
I don't
until
know
we
yet.
investigate, the main thing is you want the client calm. You want to try to
Correct.
get rid of as much of that fear as you can, because whatever's here is going to feed off of that.
There you go.
So
Energy, especially negative energy, they can't go to a power station and go, dude, wow, that's a good trip. All right. They're not getting their energy that way. They're getting their energy from a very
I'm so
short,
done with him, Gina.
very low voltage. We have that low voltage. And when you're nervous, you start to kind of push that low voltage out.
Right.
That's what negative energy is. Just like a junkie are to drugs, your energy is their drug.
Yeah.
So they'll keep everything calm to Amber is tripped.
Amber, honey. Oh,
a negative
can't wait.
a negative energy will only do things to a point that gets you nervous. If suddenly you get over that,
I agree, Pamela.
You get over that particular activity that's happening, and now you start to calm down and you're not nervous like that. Now it might start shutting the door. It might go to a different level because now it scares the hell out of you again. Now that nervousness just came back out. They're getting their fix again. Does that make sense? Are you following that line? Go ahead. Squint and read.
I'm trying.
My ex brought in whatever it was. He taunted it. I got attacked. Then months later, we had to separate. It wasn't good.
We run across that a lot, where one spouse is really into trying to attract it and the other one just wants it the heck out of the house.
And that's going to be part of dealing with clients, is knowing what you're talking about. An entity is not a demon. A demon is something different than an entity. A demon doesn't care. It's like, it'll go after anybody that's there. It doesn't have. An entity wants to separate. If it's a couple, they want to separate the couple.
Yeah.
It's going to say it attacks her. It's not going to attack her when I see her. And attacks are all kinds of different attacks. It may leave physical injury on her. It might just push her over all the time, make her look like, what the heck?
Right.
It might just bug her in her head so she can't sleep anymore.
Yeah.
Then she's going to complain about it. But guess what? I haven't witnessed it, seen it, or anything else. So I'm thinking, are you losing your mind? What's wrong with you?
Right. And then that creates
Now
friction.
we get separation.
Yeah.
Okay?
The same as an abuser does. They try
Yes.
to alienate you away from everybody you can confide in or get help
Yes.
from. They do the same thing. Well, this person, their significant other, for example, could possibly talk them into saying it's nothing to be afraid of. I want that. I want that energy. And what's the strongest energy? Fear. So I want to keep them afraid. So I'm telling you,
Divide
those
and
can be
conquer.
just as manipulative as people. They really can.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we think of everything as though they're on our time frame. Number
They're
one,
not.
on the other side, forget it.
They're
You
not.
go and you taunt and nothing happens to you today. You go and use a Ouija board, nothing happens to you today. Most of our cases happen. I'm not saying people can't use them. The problem is there's no time. Hey, they're busy with 2 other clients.
Yeah.
The bad guys are gonna, bad evil energies.
And
gonna
again,
work on.
that's something else that has been big for us on some investigations is you'll ask the client, have you done anything recently, or have you, been somewhere that you've not been before? When did this start happening when you came back? Or have you changed up anything in the home? And no, we've not done anything. We've not brought anything new in. We've not done anything. In their head, they're thinking, and they really don't do it to be lying to you. I truly don't believe that. They're thinking, well, no, I haven't. And then when we get there and talk to the spouse and they're like, well, yeah, I did play with the Ouija board with some friends of mine here a couple of months ago. Never said anything to anybody because we didn't experience anything. Well, there you go. You should have relayed that to your spouse
Right.
so that they could have told us that, because we get there after 2 hours of driving to find out you did that, and he's not giving two craps about it. And then as soon as we get rid of whatever's there after hours and trying to calm this person down, get back home. It won't be 3 days later. You're getting a phone call. It's at it again. Get rid of the husband that keeps bringing the damn Ouija board in.
Yeah. For us ourselves, we don't go back to locations twice.
I don't
For no
go
reason.
to any
If they're-
location unless it's with the team to begin
If
with.
if you invite something back after we're done, and we're done, let me finish up as far as with dealing with clients first, because this is really what it wraps up into. So you let the client know, hey, look, we can get rid, regardless, every situation can be corrected. You might not be able to. We go out with other teams. We have other teams that reach out to us like, look, we don't do this kind of work. Can you kind of come out and show us how to do it? Great, no problem. We'll do that. We'll be glad to help somebody out, because we don't want people living in absolute fear.
No.
That's horrible.
No.
We don't even charge anything.
That's
pay
why
everything.
we do this, so that we can help people be able to be comfortable in their
Yes.
own homes or feel like they're not crazy. That don't worry about how other people look at you. You are not crazy. We know this is going on.
So we give them hope. We want to start planting seeds to minimize how big they think this is. Remember that little thing doing it. And we want to turn around. We certainly want them to understand or have an idea that we know what we're talking about. That's huge. And then we want to let them know they're not alone. Shay, how many times have I told you? Just call me.
Shay,
she's
sweetheart,
worried about
I
bugging me.
totally agree with you.
But what happens too often is a lot of teams, most teams do not treat a location. What they want is they just want a location to go to that's supposedly active. So you got an active location. Great. Let's go to Richardson's house. This is going to be great because we know, hey, it's active as heck. All right, let's go there. They go and then they just disappear on you. I haven't read that. So wait a second.
I'm not saying.
Just
I
gonna
love
move
you,
her right
Sheila.
on out. Y'all are picking again. Go
I
ahead.
love Sheila. Oh my
But
God.
a lot of times the team will just, even if they get scared, they vacate and gone, leaving the homeowners going, what did they get so scared about?
Yeah.
Because they don't even tell them.
Yeah. They'll just beat feet, leave.
We always want to make sure the clients know, look, we're still with you. We're not going to just leave you. We're not going to come in. You're worried that we're going to come in. We're going to stir it up. We're not going to stir it up and just simply leave. We're going to keep talking to you. And I always contact the clients within 24 hours, 48 hours. Most of the time it's within 24 hours. I want to give them time to start calming down at the same time. We leave, we already have an idea how it's going.
Yeah.
But you'll hear too often if you watch the TV shows, well, things were calm for 3 days and then all of a sudden World War III broke out. Because it wasn't done right in the first place. It wasn't treated in the right way. The thing just went ahead and went into a void and sat back and said, all right, now where's your friends? And comes back out.
Yeah.
It happens that way.
Miss Surrey, please don't ever be afraid to tell your story or things that happened to you. Those things happen to you, not anyone else. Let them think whatever they want to think, sweetie. People still call me crazy. I don't care. I wear it like a badge of honor. I do not care.
So many people are so scared of what they've experienced. And I'm not questioning that you've experienced some really true things. And again, people that call us or text us or email us will spend more of their time trying to convince us they're not crazy. I say all the time, we're the ones sitting in a dark room with no lights and everything, and we're the ones talking to somebody we can't see. She might be able to see him. I can't. For all I know, I'm talking to myself, and she's setting me up. Watch this.
Miss Sheila's.
What is she?
I love it.
I get so tired of people who always put a title on what they can
Rob's
do.
awake.
Who cares if you're a psychic, medium, or anything? If you see, hear, smell, or feel something that you have a gift. It doesn't have to be a title. Talk to Janie, not Rob, and she can help you
Figure it out.
And if Rob is awake, he will try to help figure you out. All right. Go.
I love you, Sheila. I so love you, sweetheart.
Go ahead, Shay. Let's see how you do. Go ahead. All right.
He's full of it, Shay. He loves you to pieces.
No.
Yes,
I'm
he
getting
does.
beat
You
up.
and Gina both.
Go ahead.
I love it.
We have somebody new on, and they're
I
going,
love it.
oh, okay, never mind. Rob's just talking. And now it sounds like I'm sleeping.
No, she's not saying Rob's just talking. She said Rob will help you if he's awake. I love it. If he's awake. Wake up, big boy.
I'm sorry. I'm usually asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't care. You'll have to call a few times. Shut up.
I
Get
love
over
it.
there.
I love it. But I do have to hand him this. It's not often that I've ever done it because I'm very respectful when it comes to your time. Am I not? But there have been times when I have hit Rob up at 2 or 3 in the morning, like, you are not going to believe this shit. And he answered just like that.
Even in the cleansing process, again, it's one of the posts I put out there. I was just reading some of the comments real quick while she's having fun at my expense, as usual. Your horn's tilted.
Let me straighten them up.
I thought you were saying let me sharpen them.
No, they're already sharp enough.
I see
just
that.
Had to straighten them up
that.
a little bit. That's all. I love these ladies.
When it comes to cleansing, look, again, I'm not telling you that my way is the only way. I'm just telling you it's been extremely successful. And
Yeah, you have to do
Shay
what works
can
for
tell
you.
you about that too, right, Shay? You can at least admit to that.
You have to use what works for you. And if you've tried a specific method and you know it worked, then stick with that method. And Rob has been doing this way for how long now? And every client seems to be completely pleased and unharmed anymore. So it works for us.
Which is why I stick with my way. Again, I'm not telling you that you can't have other ways, but there are certain things that we have in common when we sage.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time. If you think this is your Harry Potter and you just go and you're done in that room.
Oh God, I wish it was that easy.
I can tell you where you failed already.
Yeah,
right?
I don't even do the cleansings. Rob does. But I'm telling you, there are some houses we go into, especially the big ones, where it can take us as long as 3 hours just to go through and do the prayers and the saging.
Now, we're not passing out and having problems like somebody was as far as on a little 800-foot townhome. But again, that's part of the process. If we're constantly in the sage and whatnot, it's not really going to come affect us. But if a homeowner or somebody that's had things, don't be surprised when they get affected.
I agree, Pam. She said anymore seems like everyone is psychic. That happened overnight. I agree, Pam. I agree. I can remember just 10 years ago, everybody was calling us witches and devil worshippers, and now all of them want to be a psychic. And will swear to you they are, even if they can't pick up what's standing right beside you. Oh my God. I hate that crap. Or they'll say this. I know this happened to you when you were little. No, it didn't. Yeah, it did. You just don't remember it. No, I would remember it, or my parents would. Somebody would remember it. That didn't happen to me. No, it did. You just don't know about it yet. They are so full of crap. Their eyes are brown. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. That kind of crap drives me crazy. And I've waited years to be able to get this kind of stuff off my chest because I've had people come at me like I didn't know what the hell I was doing for so long. Right. And then I run into people that really don't know what the hell they're doing. So I had to get it off my chest. Just a little rant there for a minute, bro.
Go on with your rant. That one wasn't directed at me for a change. I'll let this go. You play right through, sweetheart.
I'm done now. You can finish talking about your claim.
Thank you so much.
Sheila is being nice to you. Don't you be mean to her. She says, Rob did help me rid my home of a being.
I know you don't have
that has manifested.
But don't think I can't grab it.
Supposed to smack my ass when you do that.
Yo.
Something I was scared to
Sean,
do.
Are you watching?
And he stayed by my side all the way through. Then went to sleep. See?
Am I not supposed to go to sleep eventually?
Well, that's what she's saying. You stayed up to help her before you went to sleep. She's trying to be nice to you.
She didn't have to even go back to the sleep thing.
She didn't have to say you went to sleep afterward, but she did. She's being nice.
I am not.
Sean, you better stifle,
I
honey.
go to sleep.
Stifle, darling.
Thank you, Sean. You want to come?
Keep to yourself, honey.
Come collect.
I like to mess with my husband.
Sisters.
My Sean is my buddy. He's not just my husband. He's my best friend. He's a wonderful, wonderful man.
Question.
He really is.
No question.
He puts up with me. I mean, come on.
Right.
I'll be the first one to admit I'm not the easiest person to put up with. I'm not. But let's face it, he ain't either, and neither are you. But still, he's a wonderful husband. Rob's a wonderful friend. He's been my best friend for almost 8 years now. That is unreal. I can't believe I ain't on Ativan by now. No, ain't no one.
That sounds like Spider-Man. Anyway.
That's why I said it. Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah. Never mind.
He said she may.
Sean, go back to sleep. Damn it. Y'all are not
I
helping
told you
today.
he would feed right into it. I know my baby.
Real quick with the cleansing part of it, and again, I'm not going to go into a long detail about it. If you want to learn how to cleanse or want a different way of trying it just because somebody's posted about the cleansing, we do the cleansing at the houses. No.
She will get you.
She can get me. I'm not going to answer the phone. That's all.
Get you.
Just so you have an idea, when we're talking about sage, when people turn around and say,
Me
hey,
too, Gina.
if it's that particular time of the month, you're not allowed to use it.
Right.
What in the
Are you kidding me?
where do you get this stuff, guys? Seriously, where do people come up with this crazy whatever?
Oh my God.
If somebody didn't give it to you while they were happy, then you don't use it because you're not allowed to buy it.
There's so
Yeah.
many myths with so much crap.
Please quit worrying about that. Can you use other things with it? Yes, you can use mugwort.
What
you can
everybody
use-
needs to understand is you can still do this, investigate the paranormal, help people, and not try to come up with stupid crap that's off the wall that just makes you sound crazy. Nobody's ever going to trust you if you go into it like
If
that.
it's a post that sounds really, I mean, well, I can't say that. It sounds really ridiculous because that's half my post. So
Yeah, right?
that blows it. Anyway, I can't really clean that one up for you. There are a number of
Oh
different
my
things
God.
that you can
It's
use.
after 1
resins.
o'clock.
We're going to wrap up in a minute. Resins and whatnot.
Oh my
Main
God.
ingredients that I end up using, of course, is going to be the holy water, the white sage, and prayer.
And prayers. Yeah.
Really, really big deal. But the whole purpose of the sage, the smoke itself, is to go ahead and impact the negative energy. We want to significantly weaken it and drain it. And so if you do the little Harry Potter and you're up here and you go, whoop, whoop. Okay, if your negative energy is living on your ceiling, maybe you'll do something to it. But if you're standing below it and that's the little bit that got up on the ceiling, what have you done? Not a damn thing.
Or the ones that say, oh, we had somebody come in and sage. Well, where did they sage? Just the room where we were having
Right.
activity. Then they didn't sage.
No, we sage the entire
Do
house.
you think it's stuck in that one room? We open cupboard doors. We open under the bathroom sinks. Anything that can be opened that's closed, we open it so that smoke goes in every crevice.
If the bed is off the floor on a frame or anything, I'm literally, am I not?
Hands and knees blowing smoke up under there. Yep.
We are
Absolutely.
going to smoke anything out. Basically, I say, look, if there's an area that like a 4-year-old child can hide, you definitely
There were
need to get it.
literally times when the homeowner was worried somebody in the neighborhood would call the fire department. We had so much
my God,
sage
we
going.
were rolling some of those.
Yes. Yes.
But they needed it. But with the sage itself, and I even had it for a while. It was like, you're supposed to go counterclockwise if it's evil. You go clockwise if it's just a random monthly cleansing that you want to do. Instead of doing that, if this was the room and you're seeing behind me, we have a flat wall back here and the doorway's up there.
Thank
My
you,
saging
Amber.
is going to start down low, and because smoke is going to rise, and I'm going to work my way back and forth, going back and forth across that area as I go forward. As I go to the windows, then that's where I would end up placing barriers because that's what I'm using the holy water for. I'm trying to say, okay, I place the sign of the cross, claim this is God's territory, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm moving that forward. And I also have my prayer that I'll end up doing. But I'm moving that forward. So now I physically have smoke that is actually pressing an area. And we've seen this so many times.
Thank you, Spooky Sisters of the UK.
If the client is outside of the smoke, they can get plucked with. If they're inside the smoke, nothing happens to them.
Yep.
We've seen it over and
Oh
over.
my goodness, yes. So that's another thing though you need to touch
There
on.
you
You don't just sage the
Correct.
location or cleanse the location. You cleanse the people too.
You'll
we've had a lot of clients say, well, when you do that, we really don't like the smell of smoke. We're going to stay outside. Then you'll bring it right back in with you. You need to be in here where the sage is and where the prayers are being done.
People can turn around and have not even a full-blown attachment, but something could have an energy cord to them. So you want to make sure. If you have somebody that feels like they're the ones that have really been plucked with, I'm usually going to go ahead and spend more time actually saging them. Actually,
Yep.
I'll use the holy water. Again, this is just my routine. I use the holy water in a particular prayer for them. But I'm going to have them, and then they're going to be in the saged area. We've had people that have never believed in the paranormal whatsoever, and it's their spouse that is saying, hey, look, this stuff is happening. And they're like, no, I don't believe it. And yet they have some weird activity happening with them, or they're acting weird. And then I treat them, and all of a sudden we've had people feel like, like they had just been punched just before it started,
Yeah.
like they've been punched when I said I'm going to do it. Just some really weird things. And absolutely they believe that how can something just
How many
reach out and
people have we
scratch
had
them?
when you start to do the
Oh,
the
yes.
cross with holy water pull away from you. Or be like, no, I don't need it, just the house. And you're like, no, we need to do everything.
And I'm explaining before I do it. Look, this is part of the routine is I'm going to go to you and I'll do it before I even start the cleansing. I'm saying, look, I'll end up using holy water. It's just holy water. It's not going to hurt you. You know, I have
Right.
even taken drinks to keep people freaking out.
Right.
And I'm just going to place the sign of the cross on your forehead. Doesn't matter what religion you are. And these are even Christians or Catholics
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And they will absolutely be like, no,
Yeah,
you know.
don't do that to me.
And we've had people that have tripped out with it. And
Oh,
screamed it was
yes,
burning
definitely. And start talking different languages.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone down that path. Don't get me wrong. That's been
Yeah.
the fun part.
Yeah.
But there's a routine. So if you just look at what I just told you about this, basically the smoke wall, and yet if you read up on it, it says go counterclockwise, clockwise, or do the little Harry Potter waif and go on through the room. Think about it. Is there a lot of potential that if one is working and the other little didn't work, there's probably a pretty good reason why.
And the thing of it is, guys, trust me when I tell you this, most of the people that are writing these things or saying these things that claim to be professionals have never spent a day in the field investigating and talking to anybody, ever. It's just what they've thought up in their head, like a lot of these so-called psychics do.
Thought and heard. I mean, the repeat that goes on in this field is ungodly. The amount of people that just repeat stuff. Yeah, what's up, buddy? The amount of people that just repeat things that they've heard. Well, what happens is we keep repeating. By the time you're done, you have no idea. It's like this. This is, abalone shell. This is what a lot of people end up using for sage. My problem is, it kind of gets hot.
Yeah, really hot.
Really, really, really hot. And
Yeah.
burns right through. Now, there's people that will turn around, they'll dump things in here, they'll light it on fire. I'm actually using this, and I typically kind of hold it more so like that, where it's not even touching the metal.
Right.
I might set it there for
But
a
the
minute.
heat from that sage gets so hot that it burns a hole through a shell.
So that's one of my best friends that my
Yeah,
sister got me.
yeah, because
We have melted. The other ones, like the cloth
the
ones, and whatnot,
regular oven mitts. He's caught those on fire, just burned holes right through them.
who would have thought, and I'm just using sage, who would have thought white
Yeah.
sage would burn that hot?
That hot, yeah.
Kind of, you have to prepare for what can happen. Again, it's not just leaving it in one spot. Most of the time, I'm actually holding it. I'm just trying to catch the embers.
I agree,
underneath.
Pamela. I absolutely agree.
It's unfortunate that there's not a lot of. I don't honestly believe there's a lot where people are getting the right information from.
Right.
But this year and from here on, we're going to go ahead and go a lot more into it.
The end to all of it is don't believe everything you hear or everything you read. Take the time to try to get on an investigation and experience it for yourself instead of just taking these so-called professional investigators' opinion. Because even somebody that's been doing it for 30 years now, 40 years
20,
now,
20, I'd
easy.
say 20.
But even somebody that's been doing it that long, still to this day, when he goes on an investigation, he's not going to tell anybody he's an expert. He says, look, we've dealt with this type of thing before, so we're going to try to handle it the same way we have before. If that works, great. If it doesn't, we'll figure out something different for you. We don't ever tell anybody we're experts or we're professionals, because you could do this for the rest of your life and never be an expert at it.
I believe in the term seasoned. I mean, we're seasoned. We have knowledge by far, and it's not that we're the same exact as the person that comes out in their first day.
Yeah,
We are different. We do have knowledge, but we're always willing to learn. There's a difference. I do have a ceramic bowl that I use, but again, everybody that you watch.
He also has a couple of
Yes.
monk saging thingies too. I don't know what you call them.
And thanks for the suggestion. Again, this is part of the reason why we network. Gina, thank you so much for the idea of putting sand in it. Unfortunately, there's holes in abalone shells.
I agree, Sheila.
Realistically, it shouldn't be getting that hot that it's going to melt right on through. I'm just telling you, there's abnormal things that happen when you're treating negative energy. It really happens. This is not the first one that has melted. I didn't put any resin in there for it to melt.
No.
It's simply.
And he never uses loose sage. He always uses the bundle.
So
I love the spooky sisters of the UK.
they're awesome.
They are so on point when it comes to this stuff.
And there's a lot of purposes for it, but you have to know what you're cleansing, what is your target in the first place. I mean, you have to know what you're dealing with. People just figure if it's mean, it doesn't matter if it's just a grumpy ass person on the other side. They just
Right.
automatically, people are going to tell them demonic or something like that. And that's not necessarily the case. Most of the time, it's not the case. But don't rule out, pay attention to what you're hearing. Well, if it sounds, you can't use this when it's that time.
Right.
Come on, think about it a little bit before you believe that. You're not allowed to go ahead and buy this to be able to use it. Then what the heck? Some
Yeah, we
companies are
buy
making
it
some
by the
killer money.
case.
Literally, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't have people that are going to give us plenty of cases every year for it. So
No.
God knows if you find somebody that does, that'd be great. As far as what somebody was mentioning, as far as sealing it, that is again what I'm doing is I'm sealing any entry or exit points, which include windows.
Yep.
I include mirrors. I actually do the drain in the bathrooms.
Yep. Doorways.
All doorways.
Everything. Even if they haven't experienced anything in the attic, he'll open the attic and make sure Sage gets up in there.
For who is Richardson? You were experiencing something was happening. Well, it happened to both of you. So you had a townhouse. Did you have an issue as far as, did they actually do anything with the attic or basement out of curiosity? Depending on the type of energy that's in there, we actually know where their actual control point is.
Spooky Sisters of the UK say that one day
That
we
would be
hope to
great.
get over the pond and meet with you folks. I would absolutely love that, guys. I would love that. I'm still waiting for Sheila to get her butt here. Gina too.
We are definitely going to go ahead and do some. I always do. I do mirrors regardless.
Yeah, because mirrors can be a portal.
And I do drains because they're another entry exit point.
Yep.
Do you know what size something can move in or out? If the basement's not done or the attic's not done, I always do those as well.
Yep.
Because again,
You've done crawl spaces.
Absolutely.
You've opened doors and done crawl spaces.
demonic energies utilize attics and basements as their control points.
They
Not their
utilize any
activity.
hiding spot. Any hiding spot.
That's their two main areas that they're going to be in. So you want to push them completely out of that. If it's an entity, even an attachment entity,
Yes,
but
sorry.
most entities will actually use closets. Again, I make fun of them, say that maybe they're cross dressers. I don't know why they do the different ones, but that's where people will have a crazy issue with a particular closet in somebody's bedroom, and it's one person being plugged with.
Theo, I feel you, honey. I was a nurse for a very, very long time, and I saw some crazy stuff that went on.
Gina also does toys,
Yep.
which is fine.
Yep.
No basement.
Which is a good thing to do, because how many times do
Good.
children carry a toy out of the house and then bring it back in?
Which again, when we sage, there's no, I mean, the sage is like pouring out of the house for a while afterwards.
We've had clients tell us that their house still smelled like sage almost a year later.
Every bit of your clothing and everything in your house is going to smell like
Everything.
sage. It's going to. I'm sorry, because we are going to do it one time
Yep.
and do it hard one time. What we believe to be right.
And the funny thing is Rob's not a smoker
Oh,
at all. So we'll do these cleansings and there'll be so much smoke that by the time we're done, his eyes are red and tearing up. He's coughing his guts out.
I typically, and you have to watch it because sage can pop. And you got to be very careful about
When
that.
it does
You ought to be
pop,
wary.
yeah.
So typically, I'm using a bowl as far as to try to contain the embers, but I'm also blowing on it. So it's pushing a lot of smoke. It's crazy. If I go down to a bed, I get on the floor and I do that, it starts coming out the other side because I want it to be loaded up. So it's a lot of smoke that's getting pushed in there. But unfortunately, I always seem to inhale it and not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not Clinton. I didn't inhale.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
No, there have been times when we've literally came out of locations and our eyes be blood red and tearing up and Rob hacking up a lung. You can see the smoke rolling out of these people's
Just pouring.
windows and doors and the clients coming out coughing.
But they don't have any more issues.
No, they don't. You always follow up a couple of weeks after just to make sure, and then again a month after or so. And all of them say the same thing. I don't know what you did, but whatever you did has calmed things down, and we're now comfortable in our home.
Yeah, if you don't set the smoke alarms off and you have active smoke alarms, then you are not saging. I promise you. You don't go, oh, there's a smoke alarm there. I can't do that. I'm going to go in that next room. Way to go.
Theo, we would love that also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, it's all networking. We learn from you guys. You guys hopefully learn something from us.
Yep.
Stuff like that. So
He had his Ativan this morning.
had it with my biscuits and gravy.
Don't look at me like that. Oh my
Guys,
God.
we're getting ready to jump off here. So Yeah, if you don't set off the
Yes,
smoke
sir.
alarm,
I agree. We do too sometimes. Rob will usually ask, do you have smoke detectors? And is there any way that we can just take the batteries out until we're finished with this?
some people have alarm companies tied into their
So
smoke
they can't.
detectors. So make sure they call the alarm company to let them know, hey, disregard this because you will have fire departments showing up. Kind of embarrassingly wise, but it's not like we haven't talked to them.
Theo says, Robert helped me out with a very close friend a few years ago. Robert's helped many, many, many people, and in my opinion, doesn't get nearly the respect or the recognition for it. I can't tell you how many people he's helped. I can't tell you how many times he's taken time away from his family, his schedule, to get off work, load his car up with equipment, and get in it and drive 4, 5, 6 hours, sometimes even 8 hours away to go and spend his spare time, sometimes the only day he has off work, period, to go and help a family. And the only thing he ever gets from it is the satisfaction of knowing this family's comfortable in their home now and they're not afraid anymore. That's all he ever gets from it. Yet he never gets any recognition for it. He never gets it. Most of the time, the only thing he gets is a thank you. And that's always been enough for him.
That's it.
And when you have an investigator like that, then you know they're not in it for fame or fortune or notoriety or anything else. We're in it to help people. Sure, we want to capture the evidence or we want to try to get proof so that we can show people this really is an issue. Stop telling people they're crazy. They're not. But up front and foremost, before even trying to capture evidence, we're there to try to help the client.
We'll talk about that one. Theo, yeah. That was incredible. Watching the transformation of people, and that's really the kicker, Theo. You remember this. I'm not going to say names or anything.
I agree, Spooky Sisters.
This gentleman in
Absolutely agree.
particular, when we first got there, I mean, he was in a chair and he's recovering from a broken back. By the time we were done, I didn't realize he was as tall as he was, and he's just standing there, and it was like a crazy glow. He was so happy, and this amazing glow was like,
and you
he's
can't
standing up there.
explain that feeling to someone when you see that, can you?
Compared to where this guy was, because he was living in fear he was going to do harm to
Yeah,
his family or anybody,
yeah,
and he didn't want it. He just wanted it gone. And he
Right.
was so upset that
Right.
he's causing,
right.
and he's so in knots. And yet, when he was free of that at the end, it was amazing.
And the feeling that came over him from being free of that transfers right
Absolutely,
to you.
absolutely.
It's like, okay, I don't care if
It's amazing.
anybody ever knows who I am. Just that feeling that I helped that person that much. And that's why we do it.
Theo, I put the knife, you call it a knife, I call it a very big blade. Am I kidding, Theo? Was that thing, I don't know, between the handle and the knife, and it was big old wide thing, was that thing not huge? That was like the biggest knife. The person we were talking about would go in and out. When I would come to his side, he would almost basically pant like a dog. It was something else, and then he'd start talking in whatever language and whatnot, which was really cool. Sometimes it sounded like the Godfather.
Of course, it was cool to him.
But when I turned around, because I wanted to debunk, we were hearing a sound in the kitchen. And what it was a particular floorboard that when I would step on, it would rock something in the kitchen, make the refrigerator rock. It was pan on top. And then Theo gave me heads up. He's like, Rob. And the person, as soon as I let go up, when I move away from him, the guy comes back to his normal senses. And he had this huge knife actually in the recliner with him and was like, here, you're going to want this. Had that other thing actually been in control at the time when I'm standing next to him,
You would have probably gotten that.
So I'm extremely thankful, Theo. Thank you so much for having my back on that one in particular. I mean, that was
there are times people, and I know everybody doesn't get this, but I do because I've been there. There are times when he's on location that I wouldn't go on. Not because I was worried about what was in the house, but because the freaking neighborhood, you got to shoot your way in and shoot your way out.
Yeah, Bob and Weep.
And he's gone to these places by himself at night around people he's never laid eyes on before, just spoke to on the phone to help these people. That shows dedication. I'm sorry, it just does. And you deserve credit for that. Anybody who does that deserves credit for that.
Well, in this case, credit for Theo. He is the one that reached out. It was his best friend, and he noticed his best friend went through some crazy changes so quick. And that was a big concern. And he reached out. It's hard for people to reach out. So Theo, seriously, man, I can't thank you enough. I mean, you are the one that really made everything happen because you did reach out. And,
Yeah,
and look
because
for
your
something.
friend may not have ever reached out to anybody.
No, not where he was
Because
at.
once it has a hold of you, it's like
No.
it's not going to let you reach for help. Or try to get help.
It was an amazing difference. Like I said, just coming up on its side because again, there's a reason for that. We'll talk about it in another show. But Theo, thank you so much, and I sincerely appreciate it. So there's two testaments that I actually have done something right before. She ain't gonna do it, but hey, we got.
I'm the first one to tell you that Rob's good at what he does. He knows that. We like to carry on with one another, but I give props where props are due. I wouldn't be part of this team if he wasn't good at what he does.
Gina, are you trying to get exercise or no, I'm sorry.
Gina, sometimes that kind of stuff happens, honey. I'll be on times when I'm not on the live with Rob, I'll be watching it and it'll be going crazy for me and everybody else is commenting, no, it's just fine for me. And I'm like, well, what the hell is wrong with mine?
Now, I sincerely appreciate you guys spending your time with us. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes, we do so much. You have no idea.
We
And
love
please,
hanging out.
even though the live is over, continue to share this.
Please.
Let's get the word out to people. There could be somebody right now that's just waiting for this to come across their news feed so that they can be like, yeah, these are the people I can call to get help. I don't need to be afraid anymore. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. So with that, I'm going to jump off here, go get some of that gravy, and we're out.
Bye, guys.
Have a great weekend. What's left of it.
Yeah.